Well, I think it would be helpful if I muted myself. Good day, everyone. Good morning, good evening, depending on when you're watching the replay. If you're watching live, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday or good day, depending on when you're watching it. Welcome to Health Check, where this is an opportunity where you could stop, take a minute, check in on you, see how you're doing when it comes to your health journey, your health lifestyle as well. We know that Health Check is sponsored by Kingdom Health Connections. Kingdom Health Connections is a health promotional resource center. So it's a place for education, for information, and even some coaching techniques along your lifestyle. So many exciting things to come in 2023. And I'm excited to share this with you. As you can see for today's topic, we're in a new month. We're in March, whoop, whoop, springing forward, right? This month, or today rather, I'm just doing an accountability check, stopping, taking a minute, checking in on you. So how are you doing? That's really the question for today. How are you doing with your health walk, your health journey? Just to recap some things, in the month of January, as you know, we partnered with Soul Detox 2023. It was about defense mechanisms. Oh my goodness. Can we still see some defense mechanisms? Are we getting healed from those defense mechanisms? Have we been checking in with our solutionist coaches and keeping up with our soul detox appointments so that way our souls can be detoxed? Because when those soul disorders are there, it can lead to medical disorders, physiological disorders in our bodies. Why? Because we can do what we see listed here. We can give into those maladaptive coping mechanisms. We can begin to eat more. We can begin to drink more. We can begin to have more sleepless nights. There's so many different things that we can just glean into and connect with. Why? Because really, we're just trying to treat the pain. We're trying to treat the discomfort. We don't want to feel that discomfort. But instead of going to maladaptive coping mechanisms that really actually make us sicker, when we don't address those maladaptive coping mechanisms, they're just that, they're maladaptive, that we're not adapting well to anything. And it actually leads to us being in a sicker place than where we wanted to be in the beginning. So we end up deeper in a ditch when we didn't want to be there in the first place. So recognizing these maladaptive coping mechanisms, we can trace back to see exactly what's going on with us. Let me stop, take a minute, maybe make my soul detox appointment, maybe check in with a solutionist coach, and keep up with my appointments. Let me do my soul work so I see what's going on, because these maladaptive coping mechanisms are not making me feel good. And guess what? With any maladaptive coping mechanism, we build up a tolerance over time. So over time, we start to build a deeper and deeper relationship with that thing, with that substance. We could begin to, as you can recall, during the month of January, I talked about we begin to self-medicate. It doesn't have to be prescription drugs. It could be people. It could be things like pornography. It could be all these different things that we begin to use to self-medicate that puts us in a deeper ditch. But all we really want to do is address that pain. So again, the question that I pose is, how are we doing? Are we still functioning in denial? Are we avoiding certain things, but yet we're grabbing something to help us cope with that? And then as a result, we're just not feeling well. Maybe we're going to our appointments and we're realizing that our numbers aren't getting any better. Maybe a family member or a friend or a coworker has said something to us to say, I've noticed that something is a little different. You kind of disappear at a certain time of the day. What's going on with you? Something's different with you. If you recall too, even in the month of January, I shared that these maladaptive coping mechanisms actually make us worse. So let's not indulge in those, but let's deal with the root cause of them. And it takes time. It takes time. It takes us being aware of it. It takes us really addressing it. So I encourage you, let's address those maladaptive coping mechanisms. As I mentioned in the month of January, I recognize one of denial and the need for help, and really partnering with someone to get that help that I needed to be able to do what I needed to do. So for my how am I doing in my accountability check-in, I'm recognizing those places and formed a different relation. There's various different reasons why I formed a different relationship with food, but I've had a different relationship with food as well. Realizing that that crunch that I needed, it was a coping mechanism, and realizing that I need to stop, take a minute, address, acknowledge, give voice to what I'm feeling because I'm giving it voice someplace else. Can we attest to this? Have you noticed this? Again, this is the accountability check-in. How are you doing? In the month of February, the Heart Health Awareness Month. I talked about what that soul food that's so dear to our heart, that comfort food that we like to hold on to, like to eat and enjoy. Nothing's wrong with eating and enjoying, but maybe you've recognized that there's this maladaptive relationship that you've had with food. It helps to create this climate and this environment in your life, and it's actually been putting you backwards. And maybe through the course of February, you recognize, I know I said I like cream puffs, for example, or I liked beer or whatever, but I recognize, a 6-pack every single day is a lot. And it's not good for me. My liver function tests have been going up. My liver, maybe I have some fatty liver because of it. Maybe I haven't checked in with myself. Where are we where this is concerned? How are you doing with soul food? Have you recognized that it could be the actual soul food, but everybody, we know the term. I talked about the history where it came from, the transatlantic slave trade. I talked about the history of it, but every person has some form of soul food, perhaps. And keying in and recognizing if this attains to you, have you really formed this love relationship with a certain form of food? Not that enjoyment isn't supposed to happen. It is. Eating is a part of life. It's something we're to enjoy. It's something that we're supposed to experience too as well. But sometimes we're holding on to it for something more. We're emotionally eating. We're eating to solve a problem in our chemistry. And it actually works, because when we eat and consume food, it shifts our chemistry. It shifts our glucose levels, maybe even cause dopamine spikes, but it's only temporary. Again, going back to those maladaptive coping mechanisms, it's only temporary. And that's really starting to breed an addictive relationship with something that was never meant to rule us. As I started and kicked off the month of February, I talked about how in Genesis, God had created us to have dominion, and learning and knowing that meant rulership, that meant ownership, that meant nothing was supposed to rule us. And sometimes we've been seeing how food has been ruling us. My God, it's so deep and it's so good how we were supposed to rule it and not it rule us. And how when we stay in that natural order, that was the natural order that God had set. When we get out of that natural order, we actually enter disorder, natural disorder, and then it leads to natural dis-ease. So disease processes now are breeding out of this place of not getting back to that natural order that God had ordained for us to have, where it wasn't supposed to rule us. We were to rule it. We were to say, I'm going to eat this and I'm going to eat this now, and have self-control. That's the fruit of the spirit, right? We have self-control throughout the day to say, you know what, I had this today. I might stay away from this right now, or I'm going to have some of this later on in the week. We control it, not it controls us, right? And not being restrictive. I had a guest on as well, health coach Shayna, not being restrictive, but adding some good, important things and habits into our eating and how we even go throughout our day instead of being restrictive, because that then triggers that human response. Like every time I'm trying to do good, evil always is there and wants to have its way with us, right? Working with our humanity, loving our humanity, allowing ourselves to have a human experience. We've heard about this too as well, and enjoying life to the full. So again, How are you doing? What changes have you made? Have you noticed you're more aware of certain things? Have you noticed the maladaptive coping mechanisms as it pertains to your health? Have you noticed the correlation between that coping mechanism or that soul food that you've been holding on to as a maladaptive coping mechanism? Have you noticed its correlation to your health? Have you noticed its correlation to your blood pressure, your blood sugar, your cholesterol levels, your mood as well? What have you noticed? Let's stop, take a minute, check in on us, check in on you, check in on me as well, to be accountable to all this good information and all this good education. It's so good, but it's even better when we apply it, when we live it, and we actually experience the fruit of disciplined living, getting back to that natural order that God had ordained for us. As we get back to that natural order that God has ordained for us and how He's created us, we will actually experience the health, the wellness, and the healing that belongs to us. Our bodies know how to heal itself. Our bodies know how to get back to natural order. It does. The longer we keep it out of that disorder, it may take some. It may take some to get back, but it can. It can. We can actually experience healing, health, wellness. We can experience all of it. I've witnessed it. I've experienced it. One of these days, I'll share my own personal testimony where this is concerned. I've experienced it myself, so I know it's possible. So I'm just here to encourage you, check in on you, see how you're doing, and doing an accountability check as well. I pray that you were blessed today. You know that we have the choice today between life and death, blessings and curses. I call on all of heaven to witness the decision that you and I make today. Oh, that we would choose life so that not only we would live, but our descendants will also live as well. Go ahead and put hashtag I choose life. Say how you're going to choose life. We need to choose life. It's good for us, but it's ultimately your decision to choose life. Let's choose life throughout this day. Every time we need to make a decision, there's so many decisions that we make in a day. Let's think, stop, take a minute, think, choose life in this situation. It could be in a response. Choose life by being grateful. We've been on that gratitude journey still. What are you grateful for? Choose life by, I'm not going to focus on the discomfort of the situation right now. I'm just grateful that I can see. I'm just grateful that I can hear. Just show your gratitude. Show your gratitude to somebody else as well. Those are ways in which we choose life. Hey, if we choose gratitude, we might choose another substance less. And we might find that we don't need that substance anymore because we chose life. So choose life today. Put your questions, put your feedback, your comments here in the chat as well. Feel free to email me if needed at kingdomhealthtah@gmail.com. I am your host, Dr. Vanessa Bolling. I'm pleased and honored to be able to meet with you every single Tuesday, 9 a.m. And I'm looking forward to walking out this lifestyle of health, wellness, and healing with you throughout the year of 2023. Be blessed, everyone. And I'll see you here again, 9 a.m. here on Facebook Live on the Apostles House page, Kingdom Health Connections page, as well as the Kingdom Health Connections YouTube page. Be blessed. I'll see you here again next week, Tuesday, or whenever you catch the replay. All right. Bye-bye. Take it easy.